If you entered Peace Villa compound in the heart of Lagos, you would first wonder who gave it that name because there was no peace there at all. The compound was always noisy, with generators humming like angry bees, children crying, Mama Esther's frying pan hissing with hot oil, Collar's clippers vibrating inside his tiny barber's shop by the gate, and somewhere in the middle of it all, the loudest voice you would hear belonged to Chief Boniface, the self-proclaimed landlord and owner of everybody's destiny. Chief Boniface was in his late 50s, short and round with a stomach that arrived 2 minutes before the rest of his body. He loved wearing oversized singlets that clung to his sweaty chest and a fake gold chain dangling and catching sunlight as if he was auditioning for a music video. On his feet were permanent rubber slippers, the ones that made pa-pa-pa sounds as he walked around the compound inspecting tenant scenes. He believed that being a landlord made him a little god. As such, he would boast loudly to anyone who cared to listen and to those who didn't. "Na my papa built this house. This compound na my kingdom. All of una dey under me. If you no like am, carry your poverty comot." The tenants called him landlord from hell behind his back, but none dared to say it to his face because his wahala had no respect for age, gender or circumstance. If you annoyed him, he would remove your door, disconnect your lights, pour away your water, and still shout your disgrace loudly for the entire street to hear. Every tenant had their own battle with him. Mama Esther, the fish seller, was his favorite target. She was a big woman with a bigger mouth, who was always frying fish at the entrance of the compound. The smell brought customers, but also mosquitoes, and Chief Boniface hated it so much. Almost every evening, you would hear him shouting from his balcony, "Mama Esther, how many times I go warn you? You won't turn my compound to fish cemetery. If this oil touch my wall again, I go lock your shop." And Mama Esther would reply from the frying pan, "Lock your destiny first. Now you don't chop our NEPA bill, but now my fish they disturb you. Try me today now, you go see." Then the whole compound would come alive. Neighbors would peep through windows and children would abandon their homework. Everyone wanted to see who would win the evening's verbal wrestling. Then there was Kola the barber, a young man trying to survive Lagos hustle but always owing rent. His small shop by the gate had one dusty fan and one broken mirror, and somehow every time Chief Boniface saw him, he would shake his head like a disappointed father. "Kola, na cut you dey give people, but na your brain dey cut pass. Pay your rent before I turn your shop to goat house." And Kola would just laugh awkwardly and mutter, "Chief, customers never complete, but God dey." Now, there was Titi, the single lady in room 7, who also had her own wahala with Chief Boniface, but hers was different. She was young, beautiful and sharp-tongued, and Chief Boniface couldn't resist chasing her. He would wear his shiny lace agbada on Sundays and stroll past her door, pretending to check the compound, but secretly trying to catch her attention. One day, he even stopped her by the tap and whispered, "Titi baby, you know say if you gree for me, your rent go dey free, abi?" Titi laughed so loudly that the whole compound heard. Then she shouted, "Chief Boniface, even if you turn to Dangote overnight, I no fit carry this your round stomach join my future. Abeg shift make breeze pass." The tenants laughed until tears came out, and Chief Boniface pretended to smile, but inside his chest, he swore that he would deal with that small girl. The funniest part was how Chief Boniface always acted like a detective, inspecting tenants' lives as if he worked for the FBI. If you forgot to sweep your corridor, he would bang on your door shouting, "You dey pay me to decorate my compound with dust?" If your clothes dripped water after washing, he would scream, "You dey turn my balcony to fish pond. Una go spoil my cement finish." Now, if you smiled too much, he would suspect you owed him money. And if you frowned too much, he would accuse you of planning rebellion. See, there was no winning with him. However, beneath the noise and insults, there was something darker about Chief Boniface: his greed. Every year, he found a new excuse to increase rent. Sometimes, he claimed the price of cement had risen. Other times, he said government tax dey high. Once, he even introduced a compound security fee after hearing that a bucket was stolen in another street. Yet, no new security man ever appeared till date. Tenants complained bitterly, but Chief Boniface would only raise his shoulders and say, "If you no fit afford my compound, Lekki still dey empty o, pack and go." Things became worse when he introduced his latest madness: a compulsory development fee of 25,000 naira per tenant. If Peace Villa compound was noisy before, Chief Boniface made sure it became a battlefield the day he introduced this new development fee. It was a bright Saturday morning and tenants were minding their business. Mama Esther was frying fish and shouting prices. Paula was struggling with a stubborn customer who wanted a 500 naira haircut for 200 naira. Titi was sitting outside painting her nails, and Mr. Dada, the quiet teacher, was marking books under the mango tree. When suddenly, Chief Boniface stormed into the middle of the compound, holding a loudspeaker like a politician campaigning for votes. "Attention! Attention, oh!" he shouted as if Lagos State government sent him. "All tenants, report to the compound center immediately. Important announcements." Everybody sighed because in Peace Villa, important announcements from Chief Boniface meant one thing: more wahala. Slowly, they gathered, muttering under their breath. Mama Esther tied her oily wrapper tighter. Kola dragged his slippers lazily. Titi rolled her eyes dramatically. And even Mr. Dada closed his book reluctantly. When the crowd was complete, Chief Boniface cleared his throat, adjusted his oversized singlet, and raised his voice like a man delivering presidential address. "As una know, this compound dey under renovation," he began. "I wan upgrade your life because I care about your comfort. Therefore, every tenant must pay 25,000 naira development levy immediately for new solar lights, compound repainting, and a modern water tank. Deadline 2 weeks. No excuses." For a moment, silence filled the air. Then the compound exploded. 25,000 naira care!" Mama Esther screamed. "Chief, shey Banana Island we dey live, abi na Ajegunle we dey?" Kola scratched his head in confusion. "But sir, the last security fee wey we pay, where the security man wey you promise us? Abi na invisible guard dey guide us?" Titi hissed loudly and folded her arms. "Chief, please, which solar light you wan give us? The one wey go dey shine inside your parlor while our corridor go dey dark like graveyard?" Chief Boniface raised his hand dramatically and shouted, "Enough oh! If una like, talk from now till December. I don't care. Anybody wey no fit pay, pack and go. Leave my compound. Lekki get vacant houses. Poverty no dey compulsory." The tenants murmured angrily, but nobody said another word because Chief Boniface's temper was unpredictable. He strutted away with his big belly shaking proudly, but not before pausing beside Titi, lowering his voice and whispering, "Fine girl, if you gree for me, na free rent and free levy for 1 year. Think am now." Unfortunately for him, Titi was not the quiet type and she was angry already. So she stood up immediately and clapped her hands so loudly that the whole compound stopped breathing. "People of Peace Villa, oh," she shouted, pointing at the landlord like a Nollywood actress delivering final warning. "Hear it today, oh. This your landlord from hell just told me that if I agreed to be his side chick, I no go pay rent again. Shame on you, chief, shame." The compound erupted like firecrackers. "Yay!" Mama Esther screamed, grabbing her head with both hands. "So now waiting they motivate this development levy? Do they find money to use carry girlfriend?" Kola laughed so hard that he nearly fell into the gutter. Chief free rent, chief solar love, chief development body levy. The more they laughed, the redder Chief Boniface's face became. He shouted angrily, "Titi, you dey lie on top my name. But Titi wasn't backing down. She waved her phone in the air. Lie, I get recording, chief. Everything dey inside here. The compound went silent again. People exchanged shocked glances and a few whispered, recording, today go sweet oh. Chief Boniface tried to laugh it off and pretended not to be bothered. Even if you record am, so what? Na my compound be this. Na my rules. If una no like am, pack comot. I fit bring new tenants tomorrow. He puffed his chest proudly, but inside, his heart was pounding because he knew that Titi was the kind who never bluffed. And indeed, that same night, Titi uploaded the audio recording into the compound WhatsApp group. By morning, the clip had spread beyond Peace Villa. Even the pepper sellers at the junction were gossiping about Chief Free Rent and his solar romance projects. By afternoon, Chief Boniface was boiling. He summoned an emergency meeting at the compound center again. And as he arrived, his slipper slapped the ground angrily. All of una dey play with me, abi? Since una dey follow Titi do gossip, I dey increase rent for everybody. From next month, no more 120,000 naira. Your rent now na 180,000 naira. Caps filled the air. Mama Esther screamed, Chief, thunder go fire this your mouth one day oh. At that moment, Musa, the new tenant, who had been silent since he moved in, finally spoke for the first time. Chief, don't let pride carry you where your legs no go fit return you from. Be very careful how you treat people. The entire compound turned to look at Musa in surprise. The man hardly spoke, but now that he did, his tone carried weight. Well, Chief Boniface snorted dismissively and waved his hand. Abeg, leave my compound matter for me. Na me dey feed una with roof. You better respect me before I call police. Make them chase all of una comot. Unfortunately, his anger didn't stop the embarrassment because for days after Titi uploaded her secret recording, the entire Peace Villa compound remained a gossip market. People who had never greeted each other before suddenly became best friends just to discuss Chief Free Rent and his solar love proposal. Mama Esther narrated the scandal at least 10 times a day to anyone who came to buy fish, acting as if she was there when it happened. My sister, I was frying fish jejely when Chief began to whisper sweet rubbish into Titi ear. She would start dramatically like a Nollywood actress. But the girl no gree oh. Na there she disgraced am before all of us, for our korokoro eyes. And the customers would shout, for real? So landlord dey find side chick? Chai! Chief Boniface pretended not to care, but inside, his chest was boiling like Mama Esther's frying pan. The shame of it all was eating him alive. Yet, his pride would not let him apologize. Instead, he decided he could do more harm to reclaim his respect and prove that he was still in charge. Unfortunately for him, he chose the worst possible way to do it by going after Kola the barber. One sunny afternoon, Chief Boniface marched straight to Kola's tiny shop by the gate without greeting anyone. He kicked the shop door open, causing clippers, combs, and talcum powder to scatter everywhere. Kola, he roared. You this boy, you think say this compound na charity home? 3 months you never pay rent and you still dey bar people head like millionaire. Today, I go teach you lesson. Before Kola could even say a word, Chief Boniface grabbed his clippers and smashed them on the floor. The sound echoed through the compound like a small explosion. The customers inside the shop screamed and ran out, carrying half-shaved heads and wet faces. Chief, abeg, calm down, Kola pleaded, kneeling with both hands up. Customers dey come, business dey slow. I go pay small. But Chief Boniface wasn't hearing anything. He dragged Kola's small stool outside and kicked it into the gutter, shouting, "From today, this your barbing salon don close. If you no pay my money by evening, I go carry police come pack you and your nonsense out of this compound." By now, half the tenants had gathered, forming a circle like spectators at a street fight. Mama Esther held her oily frying spoon in the air like a microphone and shouted, "Chief Boniface, so na poor Kola wey dey hustle you wan use flex your power? Small boy wey dey find food chop, you no dey shame?" Titi joined in too, standing with her hands on her waist. "Chief, if you like, scatter everybody property. Remember, say I get more recordings, oh. I will make you trend on Instagram this time around." The crowd roared with laughter, and Chief Boniface's cheeks turned red with embarrassment. He pointed at Titi, trembling with rage. "Titi, you this small girl, I swear, one day I go." But he stopped himself mid-sentence when he saw Musa leaning casually on the compound wall, watching him silently. There was something about Musa's calm stare that made even Chief Boniface hesitate. Musa finally spoke. "Chief, don't dig a hole you cannot climb out of. Be very careful." But Chief Boniface, who was blinded by anger, waved him off arrogantly. "Abeg, leave my compound matter for me. I be landlord here, no be you. If you no fit respect me, pack and go join Titi for Instagram clout." He puffed his chest and walked away thinking he had won. However, that evening, his phone vibrated non-stop. The video of him smashing Kola's shop had somehow found its way into Twitter, TikTok and Instagram with the caption, "Landlord from hell humiliates struggling barber after chasing female tenants for free rent." By nightfall, the video had gone viral across the neighborhood. People were laughing, tagging each other and creating memes of Chief Boniface's bouncing belly and his solar levy wahala. Market women passing by Peace Villa now called him Chief TikTok. But his real trouble arrived 3 days later without warning. A white envelope landed on his doorstep with bold red letters stamped across the front. It read, "Lagos State Property Control, Notice of Investigation." Chief Boniface froze. His hands shook as he tore the letter open and began to read. The contents made his legs go weak. Unauthorized structural extensions, illegal collection of development levies, failure to meet compound safety standards, unlawful power disconnections. It ended with a chilling line, "You are hereby summoned for investigation. Failure to comply attracts a penalty of property seizure and criminal prosecution." Chief Boniface looked up slowly, and that was when he saw Musa standing across the compound with his arms folded, staring directly at him. And in that silent moment, everything clicked. The quiet man he had been ignoring was not an ordinary tenant. Musa was an undercover property enforcement officer who had been collecting evidence all along. Chief Boniface swallowed hard. His throat was dry. For the first time in years, he had no insults or proud comments. All he could see now was a small glimpse of the hell waiting for him. By the next morning, Peace Villa compound was shaking with gossip. The viral video of Chief Boniface smashing Kola's clippers was still trending on Instagram. But now, the new gist was louder. The white envelope from Lagos State Property Control. Tenants gathered in small group, murmuring like secret societies. Some stood by the water tank pretending to wash clothes, while others leaned on the balcony pretending to dry shirts. But everybody was really saying the same thing. Them say them want seize Chief house. Them say the fine na in millions. Them say Musa na undercover agents. Meanwhile, Chief Boniface was pacing inside his living room, sweating like a goat on Christmas Eve. He had not slept since the letter arrived. Empty beer bottles littered the floor. His singlet clung to his damp chest, and his big stomach bounced each time he moved restlessly. He picked up the letter again, hoping the words would magically change. But no, the bold red stamp still screamed, "Property investigation, immediate compliance required." He muttered under his breath, Musa, now my village people send you come give me. This man no be ordinary tenant. He won't use government scatter my destiny." By noon, his worst fear walked straight into the compound. 4 Lagos State Property Control officers in navy blue uniforms, followed by 2 men holding cameras and 1 holding a thick brown file. Leading them was none other than Musa himself, looking as calm as a sleeping crocodile. His ID card was swinging around his neck like a silent verdict. The compound exploded instantly. Mama Esther dropped her frying pan and screamed, "It don't happen, oh! Chief Boniface don't enter big wahala." Kola, who was still bitter over his smashed clippers, grabbed a plastic chair, sat at the corner, and crossed his legs like a man watching Nollywood live. Even children abandoned their football and ran barefoot to the center, chanting, "Landlord from hell! Landlord from hell!" The lead officer raised his hand and spoke loudly. "Are you Chief Boniface, the owner of this property?" Chief Boniface, who was suddenly humble, adjusted his singlet and tried to smile. "Yes, sir. Na me be the landlord, but we fit settle am small inside." He attempted a handshake, but the officer ignored him. "Sir," the officer continued, flipping through the brown file, "this property is under investigation for illegal structures, fraudulent levies, and harassment of tenants. We have multiple reports, including audio recordings, videos, and fake receipts issued by you." At that moment, Mama Esther could no longer hold herself. She marched forward dramatically, waving two crumpled pieces of paper. "Officer, see my receipts. 5 years development levy this man collect. Now my money buy am that big plasma TV wey dey for im parlour. Ask am where my solar lights dey. Ask am." The compound burst into laughter. Some tenants clapped while others whistled. Chief Boniface glared at Mama Esther in anger, but he couldn't speak. Titi stepped forward next with her phone in hand. "Officer, I get another evidence so. Now the voice note wey landlord they promise me free rent if I agree sleep with am." She played the recording out loud, and immediately Chief Boniface's deep voice filled the entire compound. "Titi baby, just come my room this night. You no go pay rent again." The officers exchanged glances and scribbled notes. Chief Boniface looked like he wanted the ground to open and swallow him, but the ground had other plans. It wanted him alive for the humiliation. Then it was Kola's turn. He dragged the broken clippers from under the chair and raised them high like a protest banner. "Officer, see wetin this man do. Now my last tool of survival be this." He scatter am as if say him dey fight NEPA transformer. Other tenants started shouting one after another. "Na so him dey cut our lights every weekend. He collect security levy, but na us dey secure ourselves. He tell me say if I no greet am every morning, I go pack out. He dey peep women for bedroom." The officer raised his hands for silence. Then he turned to Chief Boniface. "Chief, from what we've seen here, you have committed multiple property violations. You'll be required to refund all illegal levies, pay a fine of 2.5 million naira, and face possible prosecution. For now, we are sealing off the back extension of this property." And just like that, they slapped a bright red sticker across the 2 rooms Chief Boniface built illegally. Mama Esther, sensing the perfect opportunity, grabbed her frying spoon and raised it high like a microphone. "Compound people, sing am with me," and the compound erupted into a chorus. "Landlord from hell, don't enter police net, oh. Solar levy turn am to breaking news, oh. All your free rent waka don expire today, oh." Even the children joined, drumming on empty paint buckets. Chief Boniface, who was red-faced and shaking, shouted at them, "Una dey rejoice now, abi? No worry, I go bounce back." But as he turned to storm into his flat, his slippers caught clean in the middle, and he tripped, falling face first into Mama Esther's bowl of pepper water. The entire compound screamed and scattered into laughter as if fire had entered their bodies. Kola fell off his chair, laughing and shouting, "God don't catch him." Musa only shook his head and said, "This is just the beginning, Chief. Humility will teach you by force." That night, the Peace Villa WhatsApp group exploded with videos, photos, and memes. Somebody even edited Chief Boniface's fall into slow motion with dramatic sound effects. By morning, the whole street, even the Okada riders at the junction, knew that the landlord from hell had finally been humbled. But what Chief Boniface did not know was that this was just round 1. Round 2 was waiting because the Lagos State Property Control officers had finished their initial investigation, and now the real punishment was about to land like thunder on Chief Boniface's bowed head. That morning, Chief Boniface was sitting outside without a shirt, fanning himself with an old calendar and drinking warm beer from a plastic cup when a white van stopped in front of the gate. 2 stern officers with brown files under their arms stepped out, followed by one man carrying a giant red and black legal notice. Mama Esther, who was frying fish as usual, abandoned her pan and screamed so loudly that even the next street heard her. "Compound people, oh, government don't come again. Chief Boniface case don't enter season 2. Within seconds, tenants flew out of their flats like rats smelling crayfish. Children climbed on buckets to get a better view. One of them even announced like a sports commentator, "Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Chief Boniface versus Lagos State live." One of the officers called out, "We are here to serve you, Mr. Boniface, a court summons for illegal property development, unlawful levies and harassment of tenants. You are required to appear at the state tribunal in 2 weeks." The man with the sticker slapped it on the front wall of the compound gate. In big bold letters, it read, "Property under seizure, court order in effect." Gaps filled the compound. Someone at the back shouted, "Ah, Chief don't finally collect." Another one replied, "No be small collect, oh, this one na combo pack." Chief Boniface didn't even hear any of them. The only thing ringing in his head was court summons. Anyone living in Lagos knows that when your matter enters court, it is a gone case. He stood there staring at the red sticker as if it was a demon that came to take his last born. 2 weeks later, the entire Peace Villa compound mobilized like a wedding party to follow Chief Boniface to the tribunal. Nobody wanted to miss the show. Mama Esther wore her finest wrapper and tied her gele high as if she was attending a naming ceremony. Kola brought his broken clippers as Exhibit A. Titi came prepared with her phone fully charged, ready to live stream the entire thing on Instagram. Inside the tribunal hall, the case opened with evidence after evidence. Mama Esther's fake receipts, Kola smashed clippers, Titi's viral voice recording, videos of Boniface cutting off tenants' lights, and reports of illegal construction from Lagos Property Control. Chief Boniface tried to defend himself, but every time he opened his mouth, another piece of evidence dropped like a bombshell. At one point, the judge even removed his glasses, looked directly at him and said, "Mr. Boniface, from what we've seen here today, you are not a landlord. You are a terrorist to your tenants." The court erupted in laughter, and by the end of the hearing, the judgment was swift and merciless. Chief Boniface was asked to refund all illegal levies collected from tenants over the last 3 years, pay a fine of 3.8 million naira to the state government, surrender ownership of the illegally built back rooms until they are properly regularized, and just like that, half of Boniface's precious property slipped out of his hands forever. 2 months later, Peace Villa woke up to shocking news. The repossessed back rooms had been auctioned off, and the buyer was none other than Kola the Barber. Yes, so it turned out that Musa, the undercover property officer, had secretly guided Kola through the process and even helped him secure a government loan to buy the property. When the paperwork was completed, a bright new signboard was installed at the compound gates: Kola Villa, formerly Peace Villa, formerly Boniface Empire. The tenants celebrated the new achievement as if it was Christmas. Mama Esther cooked jollof rice, Titi brought small chops, and children drummed on empty paint buckets as everyone danced in the compound. Meanwhile, Chief Boniface sat shirtless on a broken plastic chair, sipping hot beer and watching his enemies, former tenants, rejoice in the house he used to control. Well, the mockery did not stop there. Mama Esther led the tenants in a special song dedicated to him. "Landlord from hell, your power don't fail, oh. Kola dey collect rent now, Chief dey collect shame oh. No more free rent waka, no more solar scam oh. Even the children added their remix. Chief Boniface park and go. Chief Boniface pay your rent. Weeks later, Chief Boniface tried to show small stubbornness by refusing to greet anyone, but things had changed. Tenants who once trembled when they heard his slippers now hissed loudly when he passed. Titi blocked him on the compound WhatsApp group. Kola, the new landlord, even sent him a formal letter politely reminding him to pay his overdue rent. Boniface sat under the mango tree one evening, rubbing his round belly with both hands and sighing deeply. Just then, Mama Esther walked past with a tray of fried fish balanced on her head. Without looking at him, she said sweetly, "Chief, free rent, abeg, no forget to pay your light bill this month oh. We know they run free service again oh." Chief Boniface swallowed hard and muttered under his breath, "Karma, you wicked past Lagos landlord." And that was how the landlord from hell became the tenant from shame. Thank you for watching the story. Kindly share your thoughts about the story with me in the comment section. Give this story a thumbs up and share the story out with your loved ones. Subscribe to this channel if you've not done so by now. Until I bring another story your way. Bye!